The elevator door opens. You walk in, and there is your neighbor from the fourth floor. You don't know his name. You just know he has a very small, very loud dog. He looks at you. You look at him. Then he looks at the floor. You look at the buttons. The silence feels heavy. It feels like a long time, but it's only 10 seconds. Then he says, "Cold today, isn't it?" And you say, "Yes, very cold." And that's it. You both just stand there until the door opens again.
I know that feeling so well. It's that strange moment where you feel like you have to say something, but you have nothing to say. Your heart beats a little faster. You think, should I talk about the weather? Should I ask about the dog? It's uncomfortable.
Exactly. It's awkward. When we say something is awkward, it means it feels strange or difficult in a social way. It's not a big problem, but you feel a little embarrassed.
Welcome to Pod Studio. I'm Emma.
And I'm Alex. Today we are talking about those moments. Small talk. Those little conversations we have with people we don't know very well. Before we start, if you want more fun English podcasts like this, hit the subscribe button right now and join our English learning family.
It really helps us grow. We do it at the office, at the supermarket, or while waiting for the bus. Some people love it. They can talk to anyone. But for a lot of us, especially when we are learning a new language, small talk feels like a test we didn't study for.
It's true. In daily life, these small moments are everywhere. They matter because they are the glue of society. They help us feel connected, even if we are just talking about the rain. So settle in, relax, and let's talk about why small talk feels so weird sometimes.
You know, Alex, I had a moment like that yesterday at the grocery store. I was waiting in a long line. The woman behind me had a lot of apples in her basket, like 20 apples.
That is a lot of apples. Did you say something?
I did. I tried to be friendly. I said, "Making a pie?" She just looked at me and said, "No." Then she looked away. I felt so small. I thought, why did I speak? I should have stayed silent.
That is the classic small talk fail. You tried to break the ice. That's a common expression we use. To break the ice means to say something to start a conversation when things feel cold or quiet.
Well, I tried to break the ice, but I think I just hit a wall.
But that's the thing. When she said no, she wasn't being mean, probably. Maybe she was just tired. But in our heads, we worry. We think, did I say the wrong thing? Is my English bad?
Right. When I speak a second language, I'm always overthinking. Overthinking is when you think about something too much, until you start to feel worried. I worry about my grammar while I'm just trying to ask about apples.
I think that's why small talk is actually harder than a deep conversation. In a deep conversation, you have a topic. You talk about work or family. But small talk is about nothing and everything at the same time.
It's true, and people often say things they don't really mean. For example, when someone says, "How are you?" in the hallway at work, they're walking past you. They don't actually want a list of your problems.
Right. If you stop and say, "Well, my back hurts and my car didn't start this morning," they will look very surprised. In that situation, "How are you?" just means hello.
It's a greeting. It's not a real question. That was hard for me to learn. In some cultures, if you ask a question, you want a real answer. But in English small talk, it's often just a way to be polite.
I have a friend who is very good at this. I watched him at a party last week. He didn't know anyone. He went up to a man by the food table and said, "The sandwiches are a bit dry, aren't they?" And suddenly, they were talking for 10 minutes.
See, that's a shared experience. They were both eating the same dry sandwiches. That's a great way to start. You find something that is happening to both of you right now.
Yes, like the weather. People laugh about talking about the weather, but it's the only thing we all share. If it's raining on me, it's raining on you.
But what do you do when the conversation dies, when there's dead air? That's what we call it in radio and podcasts, when there's just silence. It feels very long.
I think we have to get comfortable with the silence, or you can use a bridge. A bridge is a way to move from one topic to another. You can say, "Anyway, I should probably get back to work," or "Anyway, I need to find my friend."
Anyway is a powerful word. It's a very natural way to end a small conversation without being rude.
I use it all the time. But Emma, do you think people are getting worse at small talk because of phones?
Oh, absolutely. Whenever there's a quiet moment, everyone pulls out their phone. If you're waiting for coffee, you look at your screen. You don't look at the person next to you. We use our phones as a shield. A shield is something that protects you. In this case, it protects us from the danger of talking to a stranger.
I'm guilty of that. If I see someone I know vaguely, like a person from a different department at work, and we're walking toward each other in a long hallway, I sometimes look at my phone so I don't have to make eye contact.
I've done that too. It's so silly. We are adults, but we are afraid of saying hello or nice shoes.
Why are we afraid, though?
I think it's the fear of being vulnerable. Being vulnerable means you are in a position where you could be hurt, or in this case, embarrassed. If I say something and you don't respond, I feel rejected.
That's a deep way to look at it. But it's true. Even a small no about apples can make you feel a little bit rejected. But usually the other person is just as nervous as we are.
That's a good point. We always think we are the only ones feeling awkward, but the other person is probably thinking, do I have something in my teeth? Is my tie straight?
I remember when I first moved to this city. I didn't know anyone. I went to a local cafe every morning. There was a guy there, the barista, the person who makes the coffee. Every day he said, "The usual?" And I said, "Yes, the usual." For 3 months, that was our only conversation.
Did you want to say more?
I did. I wanted to be part of the neighborhood, but I didn't know how to move past the usual. Then one day, he was wearing a shirt with a band on it, a band I really like, and I just said, "Great band."
And?
And he smiled. He told me he saw them in concert last year. Now we talk for a minute or two every morning. It started with 2 words. It wasn't a big speech. It was just a small observation.
I like that. An observation is just something you notice. You don't have to ask a difficult question. You just notice something out loud. It's busy in here today, or that's a nice bag.
Right. And if they don't want to talk, they will just say, "Yes, it is," or "Thanks," and you can stop. No harm done.
What about at work? Small talk at work feels different. It feels required, like you have to do it to be a team player.
Small talk at work is the hardest, especially the Monday morning talk. How was your weekend?
Yes, everyone asks it, and usually the answer is good, quiet. You?
Exactly. It's a loop. A loop is something that repeats over and over. How was your weekend? Good. You? Good. It's like a dance.
Sometimes I want to say something crazy just to see what happens. Like, my weekend was terrible. I tried to build a bookshelf and it fell on me.
You should try it. But actually, that's a good tip for language learners. If you give a tiny bit of real information, the conversation becomes much easier. Instead of, "It was good," try, "It was good. I finally watched that movie everyone is talking about."
Oh, that's smart, because then the other person can ask, which movie? It gives them a handle, like a handle on a door. It gives them something to hold on to keep the conversation going.
Yes, if you just say good, you are closing the door. If you give a small detail, you're leaving the door open.
I think I struggle with the middle of the conversation. I can say hello, I can say the weather is nice, but then what? Sometimes I feel like I run out of gas.
Running out of gas is a perfect way to describe it. You have no more energy or words. When that happens to me, I usually ask a question about the other person. People generally love to talk about themselves.
That's true, but you have to be careful. You don't want it to feel like an interview. You don't want to ask, where do you live? Where do you work? Why are you here? That feels like a police interrogation.
Definitely. It has to be lighter. Maybe ask for an opinion. Have you tried the coffee here before? Is it usually this strong?
That's a safe question. It's not personal, but it starts a conversation.
I want to go back to something you said earlier about learning English. When you're listening to a conversation like this, or when you're out in the world, you hear a lot of fillers.
Fillers? Like the words we use when we're thinking.
Exactly. Words like well, or so. When I was learning a second language, I thought these were bad words. I thought I should speak perfectly.
But real people use fillers all the time. They give your brain a second to catch up.
Exactly. Using well at the start of a sentence makes you sound more natural, not less. It shows you're thinking. It's much better than just a long, silent pause.
I use you know way too much. My teacher used to tell me to stop. But then I moved here and I realized everyone says you know almost every 3 sentences.
It's a way of checking that the other person is still with you. It's a very human thing.
Let's talk about the awkward exit. This is my biggest problem. You're talking to someone at a party or a wedding, the conversation is finished, you both know it's finished, but you're still standing there. How do you leave?
This is where people get really nervous. They feel like they need a big reason to leave, like, I have to go because my house is on fire.
Right. You don't need a tragedy to walk away.
No, you just need a soft exit. My favorite is, well, I'm going to go grab a drink, or I'm going to go say hi to the host, or even simpler, it was really nice chatting with you.
Chatting. That's a good word. To chat is to talk in a friendly, informal way. It sounds light. It's not a meeting, it's a chat.
Using that phrase, it was really nice chatting with you, is like a magic key. It tells the other person, I liked talking to you, but I'm going now. It's polite and clear.
I think the reason we find it hard is we don't want to seem rude. We think that leaving the conversation means we're bored. But usually the other person is also looking for a way to leave. They want to go get a snack or talk to someone else too.
It's a mutual feeling. Mutual means it is shared by both people. If you feel the conversation is over, they probably do too. You're doing them a favor by ending it politely.
You know, I've noticed that since I started being more honest about my English, small talk has become easier.
How do you mean?
Well, if I don't understand a word someone uses in small talk, I used to just smile and nod, but that's dangerous. You might be nodding to something sad or something you don't agree with.
I've done that. Someone said something about a funeral, and I smiled because I didn't hear the word. It was terrible.
Oh no! See, that's what I mean. Now I just say, I'm sorry, what does that word mean? Or, I'm still learning English. Could you say that again?
And how do people react?
Almost always, they are very kind. They slow down, they explain. It actually makes the conversation more real. It's not just small talk anymore. It's a real human connection.
That's a great lesson. Small talk doesn't have to be perfect. It's just an opening. It's like the intro to a song. It's not the whole song, but you need it to get started.
I think we also need to talk about active listening. Small talk isn't just about what you say, it's about how you listen.
Right. If you are looking around the room while I'm talking, I'm going to stop talking.
Exactly. You show you are listening with small sounds. Right. Oh, really? These aren't even words, really. They're just listening noises.
Listening noises. I like that. They're very important in English. If you stay completely silent while someone else is talking, they might think you are angry or that you don't understand.
Or that the phone connection is broken if you are on a call.
Yes, on the phone, those noises are even more important. You need to let the other person know you are still there.
So, Alex, what's your go-to small talk topic? Your favorite one to use?
My go-to, which means my favorite or my standard choice, is usually food. Everyone eats. I might ask, have you been to that new bakery on the corner? Or do you know a good place for lunch around here?
Food is a safe bet. It's positive. Most people like talking about what they like to eat.
What about you?
I like to ask about projects. Not work projects necessarily, but like, are you working on anything fun lately? Or doing any travel soon? It's open. They can talk about a book, a trip, or even just a hobby.
That's a bit more personal than the weather, but it's still light enough for a stranger.
Exactly. And if they say no, not really, I can always go back to, yeah, me neither, just enjoying the sunshine.
You know, after talking about this, I feel a little better about that elevator ride with my neighbor. Next time I see him, I think I'll ask about his dog.
That's a perfect idea. People love talking about their pets. Just ask, what's your dog's name? And he'll probably talk for the whole 10 floors.
And then I can use your magic key to leave. It was nice chatting with you, Emma.
See, you're a pro already.
It's funny how these small things, these tiny conversations, can change our mood. If you have a nice 30-second chat with the person at the post office, you feel a little bit more seen. You feel like you are part of the world.
I agree. It's easy to feel invisible in a big city or in a new country. Small talk is how we say, I see you and you see me.
Even if we are just talking about dry sandwiches or 20 apples.
Especially then. Those are the stories we remember.
Well, we've been chatting for a while now. I hope this was helpful for everyone listening. Small talk doesn't have to be a nightmare. It's just a way to be human together.
And it's okay if it's a little bit awkward sometimes. That's just part of the experience. Don't let the fear of a quiet moment stop you from trying.
Exactly. Next time you're in line for coffee or waiting for a meeting to start, try to break the ice with one small observation. You might be surprised at what happens.
Or at least you'll get some practice with your English, and that's always a win.
Thank you for joining us today at Pod Studio. It was really nice chatting with you all.
Yes, stay relaxed, keep listening, and we will talk to you in the next episode.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.